I am bothered about today's episode of Emergency Rant with Bezoslice. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's get it.
This is Emergency Rant with Bezoslice, your signal to vent, shout, and set it straight.
So I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday so far. As we're getting into, holiday shopping and everything else. Yeah, I figured that we would talk about, on today's episode, we would talk about something that I think everybody can relate to. We kind of hit home on some very touchy topics. We talked about politics. We talked about the military. I feel like this one right here is going to really get everybody on the same table, if you will. Call it a bipartisan conversation. And that conversation has to do with ticket prices. I think that it's very unfair how ticket prices are incredibly high and outrageous in certain instances that shouldn't be the case, because let's face it, guys, ticket prices are outrageous. If you want to go to a sporting event or a concert, or damn it, even the movies, ticket prices weren't as high as they used to be. I mean, they were really low when you really think about it. And the fact of the matter is that I just don't understand why they are incredibly high. So let's take a deep dive into the conversation at hand. All right. So let's talk about the fact that nowadays the NFL will go to the juggernaut of professional sports. We'll talk about the National Football League, right? So the average NFL ticket price, okay? The average NFL ticket price varies by sources and season, with recent estimates for 2025 putting the average at around $156, while a different source estimates it at $279. A 2023 estimate factors like teams, location, and opponent, with some teams like the Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, who are the best teams right now, and some of the best teams that I just mentioned, National Football League, even though Chiefs record-wise isn't that great, but recently they were one of the best, having some of the highest average prices, and others like the Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans having some of the lowest. So in 2025, real estimates, 156, that is an average of 18.44% year over year. Estimated average rates of $279 for the previous seasons, and 2023, the average rate was $120.94. Team performance and demand, team success and fan demand directly impact ticket prices. Of course, we all knew that. Location where the game's at, the type of location where the stadium's at, what venues, all this different stuff, player revenue, all that stuff comes into effect. Now, that's understandable. Let's backtrack to how much more it's expensive it's gotten to get your broad horizon on. So I just mentioned to you, average ticket price, $156 to $279. We're talking about cheap seats, like nosebleed. And that would turn a lot of people away. That really would turn a lot of people away. If you think about it, for $256, as a husband and a father, would fill up my gas tank. I could buy groceries, for my family, and also for the football game. I love football. I love watching. A lot of people do. Or whatever sporting event that you like, for that matter. Let's throw that out there. I don't want to alienate anybody, sports per se. And that's not what the conversation about. We're talking about ticket prices. There are a lot of things you could do with these tickets, because you have to keep in mind, unless you live incredibly close to the stadium, you're going to be driving, you got to waste gas, blah, 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 all these different things. A family of 4 on tickets alone, you're spending almost roughly $1,000 on tickets. That's nuts. That's really, really nuts. Let's backtrack to see how less it was. We go back to the sign of the times. Let's go to 2015, 10 years. Okay? 10 years. Do you know how much an average ticket was? An average ticket, depending on the venue, was $85.83 for an NFL game. That's right, you heard me. $85.83. I'll go one step further. The figures can vary depending on the methodology and who's doing it, but on average, it was $85 to $177. That's nuts when you think about it. That really is nuts. Okay? Adjusting my camera here. I'm sorry about that. All right? That is absolutely nuts. Let's go one step further. 2005. Do you know how much the average ticket was in 2005? $57.75. That was Houston Texans' average ticket price. New England Patriots, $75.33. Remember, in 2005, the Patriots were one of the best teams in National Football League. $75.33. So overall cost for a family of four to attend an NFL game in 2004 was $321.62. An average family of four now, you're looking at well over $1,000. Let's go to WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. So, World Wrestling Entertainment for, let's say, cheap seats are averaging $290. $10 years ago, $80. $20 years ago, $50 to $75. I remember when I went to WrestleMania in Miami. I believe that was WrestleMania 28. I'm looking it up right now just to confirm. It was Cena versus The Rock. Yes, WrestleMania 28 in Miami, Florida, back then at the stadium known as Pro Player Stadium, now Hard Rock Stadium, home of the Miami Dolphins. I spent about $120, and I was sitting probably about before the people that had the special seats. So I was probably about 25 rows from the ring. And I spent $125. That same ticket today to go to WrestleMania, buddy, that same ticket's going to cost you $1,000 to about almost $9,000. That's nuts. That's really, really nuts. When you think about the price and the cost of admission to go to an event, something you look forward to.
Two things. You keep your liver-spotted hands off my beautiful mother. She's a saint. And then you sit down and you write Dale and Brennan a check for $10,000. Boats and hoes.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am announcing that the prime rib roast minister and my tiny little nipples went to France. Pipe caca, and I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl. Thank you very much.
What is up, virgins and virgins? Those right up.
Cocaine Cola, fuck yeah!
Cocaine Cola. Fuck yeah!
Here they come. Whoa, that's so many dolphins. Come on, guys. Okay, hi. Oh, I'm going down. They're everywhere. This is amazing. Yeah, I do hate the Buffalo Bills and the Packers. Fins up, baby.
I now live in North Carolina. Okay, I used to live in Miami. Okay, and the crazy thing about this was right at the time when I was about to leave, and you see me rocking my Miami Hurricanes sweatshirt, but right at the time when I was about to leave Miami, the Dolphins made all of these moves. And at the time, they were really good for Miami. You had, Tyreek Hill and Tua and all this different stuff, and Mike McDaniel was here. Everything was looking on the up and up. Everything was looking great. I was really excited. But the Dolphins and the Carolina Panthers play once every 3 or 4 years. One at home and one on the road. So I knew it was going to be a minute before the Dolphins play the Panthers. So I told my wife, and I'm telling my friends up here, hey guys, I'm going to the Dolphins game over here. I'm going to save up. We're going to go to this game, blah, 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 all this different stuff. Fast forward to last year, around December, the ACC championship was coming up. And the Miami Hurricanes were on the path to play in the ACC championship for the second time in school's history since they joined the Atlantic Coast Conference. And unfortunately, as we got to the regular season, the end of the regular season, we stumbled and we were mathematically eliminated. But before that, I bought my tickets to go to Bank of America Stadium, home of the Carolina Panthers, and I spent $140 on my ticket. You know where I was sitting? 10 rows from the end zone. My seat was very prime. And I'm telling you, I had everything and everyone telling me why you're going to the event. I couldn't sell. I went to the event. I had a really good time. And I enjoyed myself. I had a very, very good time. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? This ticket's going to be just slightly higher because NFL and college football, even though I would say college football probably makes more money in some ways, the NFL is king. So I thought to myself, you know what? Everything will be all right. No biggie. I'm gonna save up. Everything's gonna be hunky dory. Well, I can tell you this right now. It wasn't. That same seat, that very same seat that I was looking at, cost $500 to $700 for that same seat. It's nuts. And obviously, when COVID hit, everything took a hit. Everybody was taking hits on ticket prices and going out and going here and going there because everybody was on shutdown mode for the most part. Things were not open like they used to be. And when they were, we had to social distance. We had to do all these different things. And yes, it sucked. It really did. But we got through it. We prevailed. But some of these businesses lost a lot of revenue. Lost a ton of revenue. But it's still not an excuse. One of the places that I've always wanted to visit was Las Vegas. I've always wanted to go on the Strip and check out all the amazing things about Las Vegas, not just to go gambling and not just to bet money on sports and things like that. Now we can do that pretty much anywhere in the country with exception of, a couple states that frown upon it. But I've always wanted to go to Vegas. I really always wanted to go to Vegas. It's now, kind of like a family venue atmosphere now, more than it is somebody who's trying to party or trying to do God knows what, because we know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But guys, Vegas is super expensive. It's not cheap anymore. You can't just fly to Vegas and then go, your plane ticket's the most expensive thing on the trip, and then everything else is cheap, including hotel. Resort fees are through the roof. MGM. Yes, MGM. That MGM. Who owns multiple resorts and casinos in Vegas. Admittedly, Excalibur, which is one of their more valued resorts or hotels for economical reasons, stated that things in Vegas that are super expensive was a mistake to surcharge. I'll give you an example. So you go to Vegas, right? And you get, let's say, a bottle of beer. You get a burger with fries. About 10 years ago in Las Vegas, that will cut you off about maybe $20, $25. It costs nearly $100. I remember when I went to DC a couple of years ago. And I went to go see the Dolphins and the Commanders play at FedEx Field. And I had a good time. My family and I had a good time. It was my first time up in DC. We got to see some of the amazing monuments, the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the Tomb of the Fallen Soldiers. We got to see all that stuff. And then I got to the Dolphin game, and I wasn't that far from the White House. And I saw the White House, and I took pictures and had a good time. My family and I, we were looking at trying to make sure we could see, if it's possible, what we could do, because we were hungry. We didn't want to eat in the hotel because we know the hotel was going to be expensive. They had some really nice restaurants there. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see if we could try to do Uber Eats. Then I said, Jersey Mike's. Let me look at Jersey Mike's. Okay, I got my wife a sub, got my son a sub, got myself a sub. My son's friend was there too. We got him a sub. Looked at the total price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not bullshitting you when I tell you this. It was $120 for 4 subs, 4 bags of potato chips, 2 desserts, and 4 drinks. You order Uber Eats or Grubhub or whatever your delivery preference is, you're not even scratching nowhere near that. It really baffles me that ticket prices are so expensive that it's a huge sacrifice to save money. And I can't understand why. I really can't. I honestly think that, and I know this can get into a rabbit hole about the economy and all this different stuff. And I get it. I totally get it. But NFL, MLB, NHL, Major League Baseball, NBA, whatever. I probably said MLB twice. I'm sorry. Y'all need to do better. Because hardworking people that enjoy your sport are turning away from it. Even though ticket prices, as high as they are, people are coming in. And I honestly think that the moment, this is to be just speculating, the moment that we decide to say, you know what, enough's enough, I'm going to stop going to the games. I think that's when prices start to drop. But the problem is, and what people don't understand, is that when the players win and they make more money, we lose. We lose. I just wish that there was some kind of system that could help out the middle class and the lower class. Just doesn't matter what class it is, just a system that can help people out to be able to not feel like they took out a mortgage to go to an event where they want to forget about the problems of this world and forget about their troubles and all this different stuff and get together with friends or family or just go alone and just have a good time. It doesn't make any sense. And it shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. It's downright disgusting, to be honest with you. And it's highway robbery. And that's why NFL Sunday Ticket, people were through the moon excited about the opportunity when NFL Sunday Ticket switched to YouTube. And it was great. People were like, oh, this is great. I was one of them. And I don't understand. I'm looking up something right now on my computer as we speak. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So, NFL Sunday Ticket for DirecTV was $250. They went to YouTube TV, and it's jumped up dramatically to $276. Now, and you know what? I'll give credit to YouTube and the National Football League. They kind of done something about it where they dropped the price in reference to you can do month to month, which is great. But it's still expensive. I don't know about you. Do you want to pay $85 a month for a month to month? I wouldn't. It's egregiously expensive how things are. And you wonder why even TV companies are losing money, because now they're charging everybody. Now all the TV companies are spending their money on streaming platforms. HBO Max and Disney Plus merged together to create this comical experience. So you can go ahead and enjoy yourself and watch all their content and program. But guess what? For $30 more, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I'll give you an example. I'm going to go back to the HBO Max thing. You know, I know this because I said, you know what? I told my wife, I said, it's the holiday season. Let's get the bundle with HBO Max. Because I can get Disney Plus, we can get Hulu, I can get ESPN. Oh, great. Maybe I can watch some live sports content on ESPN. Or some of my favorite shows. You know, my wife and I, we can watch our favorite movies together as a couple and individually. No harm, no foul. $30. You heard me correctly. $30. That's with ads. With fucking ads. You take the ads off, oh, you're looking at $60 a month. Ticket pricing, entertainment, and everything else has gone to hell in a handbasket, and it's because a lot of the people that normally would love to go out and enjoy themselves can't anymore because things are so expensive. I went to Longhorn Steakhouse the other day to treat my family to a simple dinner. Nothing crazy. We didn't order like the biggest steak or anything like that. Longhorn Steakhouse is a chain steakhouse restaurant. So they're not that expensive versus going to like, you know, Prime 112 or Ruth Chris or Capitol Grill or just you know, Morton's Steakhouse or any of those kind of steakhouses that you can kind of think of. That there's a couple of them across the country. And you would spend just on the steak alone $100. But a place like that, like Chili's or anything like that, you would probably spend somewhere around the ballpark of like $60 for a family of four with appetizer, entree, dessert, and, you know, drinks, water or soda, whatever the case may be. I spent $120 before the tip. And it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts to think about how expensive things have gotten in this world. And I know we're shopping for our loved ones, and we want to give our loved ones an amazing holiday representation of whatever holiday you represent and celebrate, and that's fine. I just think that as a society, these Fortune 500 companies, these entrepreneurs, people that own businesses that people you know are going to watch one way or the other or share their own personal revenue of their hard-earned money. We need to do a better job of lowering the rates so that way we can say, you know what? I could say to my kids, hey man, I was at Super Bowl such and such, and I got to see such and such throw the game-winning touchdown. And I didn't have to worry about, oh man, I had to pull out a second mortgage to buy one singular ticket. I just think that, and I get it, this is how the bulk of these ownerships make their money. And I understand that completely. I just think we need to do a better job. I think we really need to do a better job. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 years. I'm hoping it doesn't get worse than this, but we need to do a better job than what we're doing now. So with that being said, I'm signing off for now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know how you feel about it in the comments below. I thank you guys for listening to another episode and watching another episode of Emergency Round with Bezoslice. Of course, I am Bezoslice. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care.